Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. This is Instruments for Change, and we're here learning how to play the keyboard. Now, when we left the last time, we were looking at chords and how we form chords. Today, we are going to look at the chart. The chart is called the cycle of fifths, and I hope you remember the cycle of fifths. If you remember this chart, if you learn how to use this chart, it is going to be your best friend in learning to play the piano very, very quickly. And then when you're able to learn to play the piano, you're going to be able to play other instruments and play them very, very well. Okay, so now today's lesson, we're going to look at the chart. Let's revise the chart. All your scales are written out here. So the first thing we're going to do today is that we're going to talk about how we play the scales. And there's a certain way that you're going to play the scales by using your fingers properly on the scales. So let's start with the C scale. Now the C scale, if you look at the chart, how many flats or sharps do we have in the C scale? Very good. No flats, no sharps. Now, the scale, as you are used to it, sounds like this. Now, we have 8 notes to play, but we only have 5 fingers. So we are going to have to be switching around these fingers to play all 8 notes. Now I'm going to play 1 octave of the scale. Octave means just 8 notes. Then I'm going to play 2 octaves. Then I'm going to play 2 octaves, both hands. Okay. Now, so for the scale of C, let's start just with the right hand and play the scale of C. So we're going to play 8 notes with 5 fingers. How many additional fingers do we need? That's right. We need 3 additional fingers. So how we are going to do it is this way. We're going to number our fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we are going to do to get the 3 additional fingers is that we are not going to grow 3 additional fingers. That's incorrect. We are going to play 1, 2, 3. Then we are going to start over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where we get the 3 additional fingers from. Very important that when you're switching back to the number 1 finger, that finger goes under and plays the next note. Now, most teachers will tell you that once you're playing the scales, once you start to move your fingers, the thumb stays under the palm. So for easy switching, for fast switching, and so on of the fingers. So let's try it. So we're going to play 1, 2, 3. Then the thumb goes under. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the 4th one, we play the thumb again, which is number 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's just number the fingers as we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. I've done that enough times now for you to follow what's going on. Now, we're not going to just play it ascending, we're going to play it ascending and descending. So we play 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then descending 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Now, while I'm teaching my students, I realize that while they're playing, they play it this way. I'm going to play a little bit faster just to make the point, okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then they pause, then they play 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's really inconvenient. Because when you're practicing your scales, I want you to practice fluently. So do not repeat the top note. You just descend immediately. So this is what will happen. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Very important. So you do not repeat the top note. Now, another thing I wish you not to do is to try and go too fast, too quickly. The best thing for you to practice is to make sure that the space or the timing between each note is even and the volume is even. So, let me give you an example of an uneven timing, which is a common practice. And it normally happens during that switch when you're switching that thumb under the third finger or under the fourth finger, depending on which scale you are playing. This is what it sounds like. So most students, when they are switching, they find just trying to think what's the next move to make, what's the next finger to use. Sometimes there's a pause there. What you need to do at that point is to anticipate what is coming up. Anticipate, anticipate, and anticipate. After a while, it will become natural. You don't even think about it. And the thing is, remember, the philosophy is not to practice until you get it right. It's to practice until you cannot get it wrong. Okay? So this is it now. We're going to play it evenly in terms of timing between each note, ascending and descending. Now, don't worry about how slowly you're going now, because you'll pick up after a while. So what you do, you practice it over and over, and what you'll find out is that you'll go a little faster the next time. And soon you'll be going a little bit faster. But do not try to do it too fast. Immediately, the speed will come. The second thing is that try and not play any of the notes louder than the next one. So this is a common mistake or a common practice. And some of the notes are louder than the others. No. So, try and keep the intensity, the pressure that you're playing on the keys even. So it should be sounding the same way from beginning to end. Beautiful. Now, this is the last principle that we are going I'm going to tell you to practice while you're practicing the scales. Now, as you have noticed in your theory classes, that we can play staccato or we can play legato. Now, staccato is disjointed and separate. So you'll have a space between the notes. Legato is smooth and connected. So there is place for staccato playing and there's place for legato playing. Let me give you an example. Staccato, you play staccato if you're playing songs like staccato for some of the song. Legato, legato. So staccato, disjointed. Legato, connected. It takes a lot more practice to play legato in your scales, and that's what I want you to practice for me. So legato, practice playing slowly at first. Then, when you play your first note, do not release that first note until you have played the second note. The same thing with the third note. And you keep progressing like that. It's not the most natural thing to do, but if you practice it over and over and over and over again, you'll find that it becomes just a part of you. And no matter how fast you play the scales, beautiful. So I need you to practice that. Now, what I'm going to show you now is all the scales that uses that very finger movements. So there are a few of them that use the same finger movements. After that, it changes. So just for today, we are going to go through just those scales. And those scales, as you follow, we are going to play our scales in our cycle of fifths. So let's go through those that use the same fingering. So it will be C, as we just demonstrated. And when you're practicing, I want you to practice like this. So you practice a C major scale. And you keep doing it over and over again until you cannot get it wrong. So that's 4 times for me. But you can play it 10 times, 20 times. Just keep doing it until you cannot get it wrong, until you understand it. When you have come to the end of that scale and now you're moving to your next scale, this is what you do. Play the first 5 notes of the scale you just finished, which is C. And what note do we end up on? we end up on G. And G will be our next scale. Now, if we look at our cycle of fifths chart, G has 1 sharp, and that 1 sharp is, I heard it, it is F sharp. So remember, F will not be in the scale at all. It is F sharp if we are to maintain the same sound. And if you have just joined us at this stage and don't understand why, you can visit the earlier lessons. And you can also visit the theory lessons. And the theory lessons will also tell you why. Okay, so in G, we use the same fingering. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Same fingering. Remember now, it's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. So you practice that as many times as you need to get it perfect. Then, what's the next move? We're going to count to 5. Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our next scale will be, yes, you got it, D. So let's play D now. Now remember, D will be the same fingers but different notes. And remember, in D, we have an additional sharp. The F sharp is coming back and we're adding the C sharp. So it will be 1 on D, 2 on E, 3 on F sharp, 1 on G, 2 on A, 3 on B, 4 on C sharp, 5 on D. So let's play that all together now. And then you play that as many times as you need to get it right. Good. Then you count to 5. And 5 would take us to A. And A will play the scale, same fingering. Remember now, you have 3 sharps in A, C sharp, F sharp, and G sharp. So it would be A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Same fingering. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you play that as many times as you need. Okay, then we count 5 up again. We're now on E. So we start on E, same finger movements, just different notes now. So remember, in E we have 4 sharps. We have F sharp, G sharp, C sharp, D sharp. So it would be E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. Same finger movements. What next? We count 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're now on, you guessed it, B. Now B has 5 sharps. So it will be B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B. The same finger movements. B will be 1, then you have 2, 3, then E, you start 1 again, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be and you play that as many times. Now all those 6 scales have the same fingering or the same finger movements. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the other keys, all the other scales, you may not start on that first finger. All of them you'll start on the second finger. So it change the finger movements or the fingering differently in those scales, except for F. And when we get there, we'll get there. So for today, what I want you to do is just to learn those first 6. C, and play it as many times as you need to play it to get it right. And then you move to the next one, which is G, and the next one, which is D, and so on. So let's do this. I'm going to run through it just for your sake, and then you'll see how I would do it. Then you form your own methods and ways of practicing. So this is how I would do it. And I'm going to play from C to G to D to A to E to B. And that's where we'll stop for this part of the lesson today. So let's go. C. And I'm playing it as many times as I need to play it until I get it right. Now I'm on G. Then I play up 5. Now I'm on D. A. Then, you guessed it, we're on E. Then we play up B. And those 6 scales use the very same finger notes. So when we come back, we are going to delve into some more chords. We're going to play some progressions, and we're going to play it over all the keys. And I guarantee you, if you do this and do it often enough and practice often enough, there will never be a time when you don't know what chord somebody's talking about, how to form that chord, and how immediately to see it in your mind. You'll also learn what chords is associated with which keys, and that's very important. So I'll see you in a few minutes.
The next person in line, your friend at school or your co-worker, may have COVID-19 and not know because they have no symptoms. You, on the other hand, could be hospitalized for 2 months or more if you become infected. Is it worth it? Stay socially connected, but keep the physical distance. Stay 6 feet away and avoid a hospital stay. COVID-19 is not over. Protect yourself while protecting others. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The point of wearing a mask is to prevent the spread of air droplets from persons who may or may not be infected. When wearing a mask, please ensure that the mask goes above the nose and below the chin. This might be a bit uncomfortable, but it's for your own safety. The position of the mask is very important. It should not be worn on your forehead, under your chin, or on your neck. Please do not remove the mask when speaking. This actually causes more droplets to be released into the atmosphere. Trust me, if you have on a mask, we will still hear you. When you're removing a mask, try not to touch the front of the mask. If you do, Remember to wash your hands or use hand sanitizer. Please throw away the mask appropriately. Remember, partial protection is better than no protection.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Now, we're going to use 3 songs and we're going to explore some progressions and chords. And we're going to cover all 12 major scales with these progression and chords. Now, remember, if you practice this often enough, every day, put in half an hour every day, you'll learn these so fast, you'll be surprised. Okay? And it will, when we come to reading notes, reading from the hymnals, reading scripted music, you will be able to know the different chords that are associated and how to play them much quicker than if you didn't. So, the first one we're going to use is My God is Awesome. Now, so, when we look at the chords that we use for My God is Awesome, these are the chords in the key of C. So we have C, that's the first chord. The second chord is G, third chord is A minor, and the fourth chord, F. So we have C, G, A minor, F. Again, C, G, A minor, then F. So we will not be using the names of the chords. What we are going to be using for this exercise are the numbers. So the chords that we played, C, G, A minor, and F. Now, if you remember, from our previous lessons, everything that's in this column, it's a major chord. I'm going to use blue for major. It's a major chord. So in the first degree of the scale, major chord. The fourth degree of the scale, major chord. Fifth degree of the scale, major chord. Now, what happens next? We have our minor chords on the second degree of the scale, the third, and the sixth. In our seventh degree of the scale, it's a diminished chord, and that's the sign that we use for it, and we'll talk about that later on. And the eighth is just as the first, because it's repeated, okay? So, we'll be talking about these first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Now, in My God is Awesome, we play 1, then 5, then 6, then 4. So this is a progression. One, 5, 6, which is minor, and then 4, which is major. Keep in mind that 6 is minor. The other scales, other chords are major. Now, so we are going to figure this out in every key. And we'll see if we have time enough in this session to visit 2 more songs. So in this, the C scale, or the key of C, C. That's number 1. G, number 5. A minor for number 6, and number 4 is F. 1, 5, 6, and 4. And that progression is played over and over and over and over again in this song. Even in the bridge, even the chorus, wherever in this song, is the same progression over and over again. And you can have some in-between chords, where we won't be discussing those in-between chords today. And the other thing is you can have the melody being played along, not just the chords. That will visit at another class where I'll show you how to play the melodies along with the chords, just like this. Or in between chords like this one. And we'll come back to that at another time. What we're going to do now is to learn all the chords. So, in the key of C, we know that it's C, G, A minor, and F. That will give you 1, 5, 6, and 4. Now, let's change keys now to G. So now we're in G. So the key has changed. The pitch has changed. So we play now 1, 5, 6, and 4 in the key of G. That's 1, which is G. Then D will be 5. E minor will be 6. One, 5, 6, which is a minor. And all you have to do is to revisit your chart. Keep this chart with you, laminate it, write it in concrete, but this is needed. You're going to need to remember this chart. So in the key of G, G is 1, D is 5, E minor is 6, and C is 4. So if you're singing along with it, you'll realize that you're singing at a different pitch because you're in a different key. And why is it necessary for you to learn to play in all keys? Because you're going to come across singers that will not be able to play at what we call standard pitch, which may be the key that is played in the hymnal, or at the pitch that the singers that record it singing, and you have to play in a different key. And it's best if you know to play in all keys. It's really, really easy. All you have to do is to do what? Practice. You got it. So once more in G, we're going to go G. And what I can do is just remind you of the pitch. So we know that's where we are, right? 5. 1. 2. and 6. So let's move to the next key. Now that you understand the principle, we are going to go through all the keys very, very quickly. So our next key will be D. So D is 1, 5 is A, B minor is 6, 1, A for 5, 6, B minor. Then we go to the next key, which is A. You got it. Let's start playing the A. Let's go. 3, 4, 1, A, 5 is E. Now F minor is 6, D is 4, 1, A, 5 is E, F minor, F sharp minor is 6, and D is 4. So keep in mind now that in A, in the key of A, 1, 4, and 5, they resemble because you have 2 white notes at the end and a black note in the middle. So for the key of A, it's A, C sharp, and E. For the chord. For D, it's D, F sharp, and A. And for E, it's E, G sharp, and B. Now let's look at the minor chord, which is we are using in this one, which is the F sharp minor. So it's F sharp, A, and C sharp. Now remember, all you need to do when you're formulating these chords is to look at the notes as they appear in the scale. So if you have F sharp as your first, so we are in the key of A. So if we have F sharp as your first note in that minor key, you skip a note, we end up on A, and then we skip another note, we end up on C sharp. So that is your F sharp minor. And if you keep doing that, you'll figure out how to play all the minors and the majors. So that was the key of A. Our next key is E. All right. So remember, it's 1, 5, 6, which is a minor, then 4. And in the key of E, it's E, B would be 5, C sharp would be the 6th minor, and A will be now 4. So, let's go. 1, B for 5, then C sharp for 6, then 4. And what you do, you repeat that over and over and over again until you get it. Next key, B. So B is 1, 5 would be F sharp, G sharp would be 6, and E will be 4. Great. So those are the chords. And you keep doing this over and over again until you get it. The next key, F sharp. Now what are the 4 chords that we use in the F sharp? Remember, it's 1, 5, 6 minor, and 4. So F sharp will be 1, C sharp will be 5, D sharp will be 6, and B would be 4. Sorry. C sharp. Then B. Then you move from F sharp to your next key. And remember that F sharp and G flat, they are the same thing. Now, what is the next key? The next key is D flat. So, the chords in D flat, 1, 5, 6, and 4. D flat for 1, A flat for 5, B flat minor for 6, and for 4 will be G flat. So 1, 5, 6, 4. D flat, A flat for 5, 6, B flat, let's go to the next one. A flat. Okay. So in A flat, we'll have A flat for 1, E flat for 5, F minor for 6, and D flat for 4. A flat, 5, E flat, F minor for 6, and D flat for 4. Then let's go from A flat now to the next key. E flat. Now, in E flat is 1, B flat is 5, C minor is 6, and A flat will be 4. Let's start now. That's 1. B flat, C minor for 6, and A flat for 4. So let's move on from E flat to B flat. Now in the key of B flat is 1, F is 5, G minor 6, E flat is 4. So let's play that one. F, G minor, that's 4. Let's go to our next. F, and F is our last key because F now has only one flat, and in the cycle of fifths, the next one will be C. And we already did C, so we are good. So in the key of F, F is 1, C is 5, D minor is 6, and B flat is 4. So practice that song over and over again in all 12 keys, which we just slowly went through a while ago. Now, I am going to introduce 2 more songs. Now, these 2 songs will give you some more movements, and we won't go through all 12 keys maybe, but what I'll do, I'll start them and I'll show you how to practice them. And what you have to do is to apply the same principle that we did in My God is Awesome. And if you keep practicing it every day, give it half hour, 45 minutes if you can. And what you'll find out is that you learn all these chords. So when you come to the other lessons, you'll be able to learn very, very quickly because of them. Now, the next song I want to look at is Side by side. Now, we're going to start in C. A little bit more difficult. Now, this song does not start on the tonic. The tonic, which is the first degree, the first note in the scale, the first chord in the scale. It actually starts on the fourth. And the chords in this one are the chords that we're going to be using. And what you'll realize is that not the progressions that we use is not the only set of chords that you can use. But I'm using these chords to teach so that you can understand and learn how to follow. So we'll use in this one, we'll use 4, 5. For this purpose, we're going to use 3 minor. Then we use 6 minor, 2 minor, 5, and then 1. Now, so for side by side in the key of C, we'll have So we have 4, 5, 3, which is a minor, 6, which you already know is a minor, 2, another minor, 5, 1. This same thing is played over and over again. So, in this particular progression, you will play all the major chords, all the minor chords. Now, I'm going to only demonstrate in a few of the keys. So, let's start with C. So, we're starting on the 4th degree of the scale, or what we call a subdominant. And you'll learn a lot about that in the theory class. So remember, visit the theory class. This practical means absolutely nothing without you understanding theory. So please visit the theory class. Learn as much as you can from the theory class. So on the 4th degree of the scale, it's called a subdominant. So it starts on F. Then 5, and then you follow the progressions. Now, so in the key of C, if you should follow the chart, we go 4, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. And what you'll find out also is that it's a real popular jazz move to use that progression, that last part of the progression, which is 2, 5, 1. So a lot of jazz pianists will play a progression sounding like this. And go on and go on and go on. Just and over again they'll play that because that's a real popular jazz move. And what will happen is that if you learn this progression well, you'll start hearing different movements in different songs, different genres and so on. So again, in the key of C, we have F, 5, 3, then the 2, 5, 1. And I just use a jazz move to play right there. how they would normally play it there. Now let's go to the key of G. Now remember, we're starting on 4. So it's not, you won't be starting on G, but you'll be starting on the 4th, which is, you'll be starting on C. So now, in the key of G, you'll follow the progression just the same way. 4, C, 5, D, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. The keys are changed, the chords are changed, but it's the same song. So we start on C. That's 4, 5, which is the second chord, 3, then 6, 2, 5, 1. And we'll repeat that. Let's try it in a different key, the key of D. Now in the key of D, we start on same thing, 4, then we do 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. So in the key of D, we won't start on the note of D, but we'll start on the 4th, which is a subdominant, which is, yes, you guessed it, it's D. G. Let's do it without the melody now, just the chords. And we apply that to every single key. So if we're in A flat, just the chords. Now, I expect that this will take you several times at the keyboard, practicing over and over and over again to get it. That's why I'm giving you 3 songs. Now, the third one is another favorite little song of mine called As the Dare. Now, in As the Dare, the movements change a whole lot in As the Dare. So, in As the Dare, it sounds like this. And of course, you know the bridge in that song. Now, we will not be bother do the entire song. We're just going to do that very first part. Understand again, I'm just using a certain progression to teach you certain movements right now. So these are not the only chords you can use for this song. You can use several different types of progression, which will sound just about the same. But I'm using this set of chords just to demonstrate what we have to do. So the first chord we are going to use is C, which in the key of C is number 1. The second chord I'm going to use is a blended chord. What do I mean by a blended chord? Now, what we have been doing in previous chords and in the songs before, when we have C, we play the C chord with our right hand, and we play the C note, just the note, with our left hand. So that's like the bass. So you'll have soprano, alto, tenor, bass. Now, in a blended chord, which the second chord is a blended chord, it's going to be G in the right hand and B in the left hand. So it will be the 5th chord in the right hand and the 7th note in the left hand. So it's going to be, that's the second chord, which will be 5/7. We go to our 6th, which is a minor. Then we use another blended chord. We're going to use the 1 chord, which is C in the right hand and G in the left hand. Then we go to the 4, which is F, then 5, G, then back to C. So, if we should write this down, this is how it would look. We'll have 1, then 5 over 4, over 7, then we have 6, then we have 1 over 5, then we have 4, 5, and we go back to 1. Now, keep in mind that when we have a chord looking like a fraction, like this, the top one is the right hand, and I'll put that in a little red here. And the lower one is in the left hand. Same thing happens here. Right hand here, left hand here. Okay? And keep in mind again that 6 is minor. So, let's try it in a couple of keys. And the same principle applies. Practicing in every key. Then you go to G. No. So what happens in G? Same principle applies. G is number 1. Second chord is the 5, which in the key of G, 5 is D. And the 7 is F sharp. So it will sound like this. That's a movement from the first to the second one. Or just the chords. Then our 6, which is E minor. Then we go to our 1, which is G, over 5, which is D, 4, C, 5, which is D, and back to 1. So, what you realize now, one of the things we must remember, E minor is in the key of G and E minor is in the key of C. In the key of G, E minor is the 6th in the key of G. And in the key of C, E minor is the 3rd. It's the same E minor. Wherever you say E minor, it's always E minor. Wherever you say A flat major, it's always A flat major. The same notes. The only thing that will differ is what we call the inversion. So we can take as the there and we can play it in any key. Let's try it in the key of B flat. So when we come back, we'll wrap up this session. Practice these 3 songs in every single key. And once you do that, you are going to learn every chord and you're going to be able to play the other songs and the other methods very, very quickly. I'm really, really proud of you for trying and keeping at it. Thank you, and we'll be back really, really soon.
Aren't you tired of being the last person to view our content whenever we post? Maybe 3 days or perhaps a week later? Trust me, I know the feeling. That's why I'm here to help you fix that problem. By subscribing to our YouTube channel, it enables a notification feature that sends you a personal notification whenever EJC Virtual Church goes live. Yeah, that's cool, I know. Ready? Let's go. Now, firstly, what you want to ensure is that you are signed into your YouTube via your Gmail account. And then when you've gotten onto one of our videos, below that video you should see the word subscribe in red. You tap that word and then a bell should come up beside it. You hit that bell and select all to get all our notifications for all our content that we post right here on our EJC Virtual Church YouTube channel. Yep, it's as easy as pie. So right now you receive notifications whenever it's time for a new beginning. Mind Your Health, Youth Mission Live, Oh Give Thanks, Instruments for Change, and on Sabbaths or regular worship service. Remember, if you don't do it, the rocks will. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family members, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you will surely receive a blessing from these programs.
Now, one thing we must keep in mind when we are ministering, by playing the piano, by singing, by doing any form of music, is that this is worship. And we must not just do it from our fingers or from our lips. What we need to do is to do it from our hearts. Now, we're singing a song like Our God is Awesome, or As the Deer, or Side by Side We Stand. Can you imagine singing Side by Side We Stand, awaiting God's command and meet you in heaven, and we don't even like the person that is beside us? Oh no, that's morally wrong. We have violated everything. Now, there's a text in Matthew 15, verse 8. It says this: This people draw it nigh unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. When we sing, when we minister music, it must be from our hearts. And even if the music, there are no words, but it's just from the keyboard, it must be a ministry from your heart. It must be something that you're worshiping and you're dedicating this music to Jesus Christ. Because we don't want those words to be said about us, that we draw nigh to God with our mouth and we honor God with our lips, but our hearts are far from Him. We must honor Him with our hearts first, because that's the only thing that will matter. So when we play As the Deer, it must be from our hearts. We must honor God from our hearts. When we think of our favorite songs or our favorite hymns, we play it and we minister from the instrument, not because the congregation or nobody else will be hearing the words from us, but we must think of the words. One of my favorite hymns is Crown Him with Many Crowns. And when I play that song, I think about heaven. When we go to heaven and we get our crowns and we see Jesus, and we cannot keep those crowns to ourselves. So we just cast those crowns at Him. We put the crowns on His head because we know that He's the only one that's deserving of the crown. We are not deserving of it of ourselves, because we're going to be even so surprised that we have made it there. And we know we can only make it on the merit of Jesus Christ. Crown Him the Lord of love. Behold His hands and side. We crown Him the Lord of years. Crown Him with many crowns. That line that says, Thy praise shall never ever fail throughout eternity. I want to be there to give Him that praise throughout eternity. Another favorite of mine is To God Be the Glory. That song, when I play the song, even if you're not hearing the words from the piano, you must feel what I'm saying with it. And I want to give Him total praise with that song. So this is kind of how I would play the song.